traffic's been holding people and this. So we thank you all for being here and taking your time and effort. Before we start anything, I think I would invite Nandita here to please light up the candle, please. Yeah.
Yeah, we need help.
So all the good things first, huh?
Yes. Where did you come from? Even you do it. Lucky last week you took care to do that.
Okay, so as you're aware of, Nandita, she comes from Melbourne, Australia. This is a wonderful book she has penned down. It's based on the Rajput princess Meera Rising, who had a great immortal love for Lord Krishna. And this book talks about two beings, immortal being and a mortal being, and the romance which follows between them. It's very exciting, very interesting, and I hope you all will like it. I would like to call on Kev to please introduce the book and perhaps release it also.
Exciting. Ooh. You got to admit it's a beautiful book, don't you? It looks really nice. Alrighty. Firstly, I'd like to say how honoured I am to actually be here in Delhi for Nandita's book launch. I would never have thought I would have been. Talking to Nandita back in Melbourne. A little bit about myself. My name is Kev Howard and I run a publishing company called Busybird Publishing in Melbourne, Australia. And we luckily came in contact with Meera about a year ago, I think it was. And the funny story goes that Meera actually got lost trying to find our studio. So it was a bit of a laugh. But instantly we all kind of bonded with that kind of mishap at the start. Yeah, she's basically, I think she lost her way initially, but since she's been with us, she hasn't lost her way with her writing. She's actually found focus, and we've actually, both myself and my wife who run the business, are so proud of the media attention that Nandita in Australia has got around Meera. She really, we see a lot of authors that do books and they're just happy to actually have a book and it just sits there. They sell it to a couple of friends and family and it all goes away. No rah-rah, but Nandita, she has that devotion, that passion that she wants that Meera Rising story to be shown to the world, and she will stop at nothing to have that happen. And that is very rare for an author. Basically, most authors will write. A very small amount of them will then do something with their writing, and then a very small number again will actually promote their book from there. So yeah, from Busybird Publishing, we are just so blown away by Nandita's focus on getting Meera to the world. As I said, being here in India is very special for me. It's the second time I've been here. In August this year, I decided to spend a month in India and travel up to Ladakh, up in Kashmir, and climb a ridiculously high mountain. For me, it was a personal and physical challenge way beyond that I've ever done ever in my life. And it was a passion that I trained for 2 years, and I focused, and out of the 8 people in our trekking group, only 3 of us got to the summit. And when I did get to the summit, I cried like a little girl, I will admit it. It was just and I'm relating this back to writing, it's the passion, the desire, that goal I wanted to get to that summit. It's like a writer who wants to get their book published is physically and mentally hard at times. And maybe you cry like a little girl when you kind of reach the summit of your authors getting the book out. But yeah, fantastic effort. Meera Rising is the first novella that Nandita has released. And keep posted because there will be many more. She's actually got a second one which is, I think, being edited at Busybird at the moment, called Rosemary's Retribution. So that'll be coming out in 2018. So it's a momentum thing with Meera and then Rosemary, and then she's actually got another book. I'm not sure if a lot of you know that Nandita was in quite a serious accident recently, and she's actually going to write a book about her recovery of trying to get her life back together after that, which will be fantastic for people to follow if they're in similar circumstances. So we look forward to a few more books coming out from Nandita very soon. Now, as I said, Nandita is very rare. There's a lot of authors, there's a lot of people that get stories out there, but there's not many true storytellers. And a storyteller basically is a creative soul who really has the spirit and the desire to get their stories heard. Nandita refuses to be denied. She will keep pushing and she'll keep pushing, and here we are. And I was only saying to Nandita today that it's all worth it, seriously. You can have some ups, you can have some downs, but you must try. I was saying she could have sat in Melbourne and done none of this, done none of the India, and just been happy with having Meera, just this little book in Melbourne, Victoria. But no, she had to answer the question, and here we are today. And I think it's all a positive. And Meera Rising, well, as I said before, is an absolutely beautiful book. It looks good on a shelf. It looks fantastic as a little thumbnail online if you're buying it through Amazon or anything, those kind of things. So when she came to Busybird, she had the story and she actually asked whether we could help her designing the cover. So Busybird put their best illustrator onto the job. So we searched high and low and we found one. And liaising with Nandita, we actually came up with the concept of this, and the illustrator then actually put the colours, the feel, and tried to marry it with the feel of the inside of the book, which the cover should complement the inside. And I'd just like to say I'm very connected with this book. I'm very proud of it because I am actually the illustrator that did this book. So I'm immensely proud to have one of my illustrations up there, looking amazing, I must say. So for me, it's a very special book. Okay. Now about the book itself, Avinda basically touched on it. It's basically an unconventional love triangle, and I'm not gonna spoil it too much. You must read it. It's an amazing kind of way it's all put together. It's a story about love, everyday love that we all desire. About devotion to something greater, and that can be anything from, it can be a religion, a spiritual thing, or even just a passion. So it's all wrapped up in this book. It's all really, we all need this. It's a story about following your calling, and as Nandita getting the book out is following her calling. But what that calling is very different for all of us. So please read the book and make your own decisions on, reading a book is a very subjective thing. Everyone gets something different out of it. So have a read, and you will all come up with different answers for that same question. Now, opening Meera up to the Indian marketplace was, I think, a great step. It is going to pick up momentum. It is going to go out there. It's a story that virtually connects with here, this area. It was written about here, so it will gain momentum. And this, as you said, Rosemary is another one. It will just pick up. So I think India will eventually get swept away by Meera Rising and then the rest of the series. I'm honoured to be here as part of Busybird, and events like these are very important. Vinda and I have just been talking. We would never have come in contact if this had happened, and basically there's a lot that we can probably do together. The world these days, as it being digital age, is very close. We can all talk to each other. You know, Australia, India, it's actually not that far these days. Just spend the 12-hour flight on Air India and you get here. Screaming children all next to you, but that's okay. Nandita went to Singapore, so it probably wasn't as bad.
I wouldn't say that.
No. So basically, I think events like these are great for everyone to come together, share the platform of writing a book, connect globally, and share our marketing, our resources, and our new ideas between different countries in publishing. And I think that helps the authors in the end as well. Yeah, I think basically that's enough for me. But I'm very, very proud of Nandita. You don't see what happens behind how, you think a book doesn't appear magically. There's so much that goes into this, so much, writing a book, you just write some words, if someone edits it, it goes out. It's not like that. There's a lot of pressure, and you've got to be happy with it, you've got to work closely with your editor. Luckily we've got a good one that Nandita works with. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just the printed book. So please spend some time with it. It's virtually, it's a project. It's not just printed off. It's a whole year or so of blood and sweat to get it here. So now, yeah, basically Australia is not the only one that has Meera Rising now. India can now embrace it. And I just like to say that Busybird's catchphrase is, we are changing the world one story at a time, and I think this is the start of something that's world changing. So enough for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kev, for your valuable comments. Now I can invite Nandita to please share her views on the book. Yeah, that's what everybody's waiting for, I think.
First of all, I'll say thank you to all of them who have been waiting here since 2 hours, and people who have been actually struggling to come here, and they're still stuck in traffic, and have actually said that my apologies, you couldn't come. But that's not important. It's important that you've taken an effort to make it to come here. That is very important. So I would say, let's clap to you. You're a big round of applause to you guys. And it's just I'm very honored to come back to Delhi to launch the book. And look, we get readers from all walks of life, and it's about the passion of reading few stories and turning those pages, and it's becoming too digitalized now, and the feel and the love of a book is going. So what we are trying here with Sanvan and with Busybird is readers not to forget that old style of smelling that book, and putting in the cupboard, and then after a few years, you come and retell the story again. And Meera Rising is just that concept, and it's not about, we've been influenced by the life of Meera, but it's actually a love story between a man, a Meera person, and a god. So it's a love triangle. So who wins, who takes Meera across? But the story behind it, it's all about love. And I wouldn't have written Meera, I wouldn't have brought Meera to you guys or to the world, because 6 years ago I had a massive accident, and I am diagnosed with cognitive disability, which is, a lot of people will say, well, it's just normal. And it is normal for me now, but it's not to a lot of people. But what gives me the strength to do is write beautiful books and keep momentum up. And the thought about Meera is something that I have to read out because I forget things. And there is a bit of life of everybody's life entangled. Like it's you, it's us, everyone, the day-to-day love that we're looking for. And it's all a source of hope. So if I can be that hope, that if I can write, definitely you can read as well. So I'll just say a few words, and thank you everyone for making it such a big success in Australia. Like people have really got friendly and about Meera, and I can't wait to bring the second book to you all, Rosemary, which is also about the cultural struggles between India and Australia, set between the 1975 emergency. So it's also a beautiful love story. But we are not here to talk about that book, we're here to talk about Meera. And I'll just quickly read out to you about the importance of how Meera basically came to people's minds, like how I got Meera to you all. So I'll just bring this out and just give me 1 second. So I'll just start with this because everybody is aware about Rumi and what Rumi once said. The wound is a place where the light enters you if you let it. Similarly, love, what can I say about love? If you touch by it or if you let it enter, it will engulf you in its glory. It's like an adrenaline rush, like alcohol to an alcoholic. At first, a drop will hit you with its welcoming note. Then after a glass or two, you're a little hysteric. You're either talking a little more or just sitting down. Slowly giving in, but not too fast and definitely a little slow. The next day arrives, you play your little charade, enjoying, announcing to the world, giving yourself the status of crossing. Mind you, you are not yet classified as a shopper. Neither the term alcoholic sits well with you. You're just enjoying, being a little tipsy, yet you are in the make-believe of a hangover. By now, you're pretty much down pat your fears and you have a robust authority to yourself and the situation. You're not yet controlled. You'll be thinking of that person in a thought and then move on, forgetting that person for 3 days. You still have authority over yourself, and when you spend some more time with the person, you become inefficient, non-reliable to yourself, and then slowly every part of your body becomes redundant. You're breathing, but you're not effective. You're eating, but you're not tasting. You're smelling the stench of your poor old soul, but you're not curious to what. By this time, your brain is completely in its final stages, surrendering to your heart. Now, the same person you were all ready to forget for 3 days, when you need that person for 24 hours. Every second, every minute, and every hour of the day. How is that possible? Well, you're witnessing the perfect term of alcoholic, or being a love addict. I've seen a lot of people, and I can't help but say with my own experience that we all have chased a fairy tale. I personally went and looked over it, but never got it. I complained, got overwhelmed, but then I stopped. I'm not worthy of him, and the most classic you hear people whinging is that I didn't deserve to be with him. The list is endless. Then what happens? The blame starts. We blame each other on our worthiness. It is just between a man and a woman. Check it out. It's embedded on every relationship where we are involved. Somehow we miss the point and we fail to see why are we suffering so much. We suffer because our love gets unacknowledged.
manage, also when we are not able to set boundaries or rules on each other anymore, then what happens? We get hurt. We get hurt unnecessarily, or we can say we suffer silently, torturing ourselves, dying every day, withering inside, complicating things. We exhaust to any reasoning. Actually, when we shouldn't have to go through it all. With suffering comes a greater sense of peace. Yes, it's funny, but then this is the time when we are more tuned with ourselves than ever before. We listen to everything that goes around us. We fight within ourselves to evolve, to grow. The uniqueness is that what, with every little disappointment, with every little failure, we grow. To me, that is the key to life. Finally, we don't know why it happens and how it happens, but that growth, that fight for thriving life transforms us, defining us to spiritual enlightenment. And hence, Meera Rising is the seed of that growth. In 2010, when I was traveling to India in search of spiritual enlightenment, I came across Krishna Pandemonium. One night, I happened to catch an old 1940 Indian classic of Mirabai, the mystic Hindu poet. Further 3 years of studies led me to an urgency, that is, there is a story that needed to be told. So lead writers are definitely lonely soul. I remember someone I know who said, what I keep writing doesn't make sense. Well, he's right, because it doesn't make sense, why we write? But mainly to satisfy our egos and catching a thought that could just evaporate and no one would ever know. The story has been very emotional for me. I had to write the story for all the above reasons. The time around this time last year could be June. After the assessment of Meera Rising that had been done by Busy Bird, I had to restructure the end, and I was going through an emotional, personal turmoil. I had two choices that day, and thankfully I chose to live to tell the tale, and henceforth Meera Rising was born. So I hope you enjoy. It's not the typical Meerabai that you're expecting. So it's very different. It could be perhaps you, it could be a neighbor that you know who's fallen in love with a white guy, and the white guy rejects and she goes in love with the higher spirit. And that's how Meera is to me. So I hope you enjoy the book, and yeah, thanks for coming. That's all I would say.
Thank you, Nandita, for your valuable insight on the book. I'm sure what you shared and what you said will prompt everybody here to perhaps buy a copy. We here at Sandal Publishers in New Delhi are very proud and very happy to have published our Indian edition. And when I first saw the manuscript, I went through the pages and I said, oh yes, this has to be brought to the Indian audience. And today we are very happy that now we have the Indian edition of the book out, and it's available on Flipkart. So anybody who's tech savvy can order through Flipkart, and there are copies outside. And I think Anita will be more than happy to autograph any of you who wants to purchase a copy. And please join us for tea. And thank you all for coming and being here with us. And I appreciate your time and your effort. Thank you so much once again. And congratulations to Nandita once again. Thank you.
Yeah,